What up? What up? What up, world? Classic Mike here with you guys today for your week 9 matchups. We're going to be doing some start sit questions. So make sure you guys, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll be answering them throughout the show. So make sure you guys do that. We're also going to go over some storylines leading up to Sunday morning games, some injury news, overnight injury news as well. We're going to go over the actives and inactives at 11:30 when we get them. Also, I'm going to give you guys some DFS value picks, things like that to help you set your DFS lineups if you are into that. Now, to start week 9, we have 6 teams on a bye. We have Cleveland, Dallas, Denver, the Giants, the Steelers, and the 49ers all are on a bye this week. That means you are missing a ridiculous amount of players. I mean, Nick Chubb, you're missing Hunt, Prescott, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, Gallup, Russell Wilson, which you're not really missing, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, all these guys that you are currently down. We will help you set your lineups for this week. So make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. Also, just to promote our sponsors right here, Underdog Fantasy, whenever you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT, they will make sure that they will match you up to $100. They will match you 100% up to $100. So make sure you guys check them out as well. They have a lot with their pick'em is probably one of my favorite things to do. Rivalry picks, things like that. It is also one of the best ball platforms out there, but probably one of my favorites just to use. So make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT and they will match your first deposit. Also, make sure you guys check out trophysmack.com as we, showed in the beginning. This is a great site if you guys were looking to, update your belts, your trophies, things like that. They have awesome rings like this. You can customize everything. They have trophies here that you can customize as well, chains even, and of course, the wonderful belt. So make sure you guys check them out. They are a wonderful website. If you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT at checkout, it will help help us and help you as well. So make sure you also, we like to promote a lot of people on here. So make sure you guys also check out our affiliates as well. Make sure you guys check out Cody McGoats and the boys every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, right here on the Get Right Network. But also make sure you guys are subbing to their channel as well. They're a great group of guys. They do wonderful things on that channel. I enjoy watching them as well. Make sure you guys check out WAGMI Fantasy at wagmifantasy.com. Colin Ray, he has great articles, great website, and has his own rankings up as well. Also listen to his podcast. Also, make sure you guys sign up for his weekly Winning with WAGMI newsletter. Great newsletter, great advice, things to help you out as well. Also, the Fantasy Frontline with Tim and AJ. Make sure you guys check them out on YouTube and Twitter. They are usually live on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so make sure you guys check the information in the description. It will give you all the links that you need to make sure you guys can check them out. Great group of guys. Love having them here. Jonathan Smith, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you here. Oh, I'm just going to start. So, is James Conner questionable today is he startable today if I really need him? He's going to play. They expect him to play today. So, as we said on Friday, you could probably start James Conner. I have him a little lower. He's more of an RB2 in my rankings. I think I have him at like 20, 21. Where do I have him? Actually I have him at 26. So he's someone you can use if you're in a bye week, type situation, but I would not expect much. He's coming back from a rib injury. Those can re-aggravate very easily. So just be wary of that. But honestly, not a bad start if you have, if you need to. I don't have been in any leagues, so for me, it's hard to, gauge if I would play him over a certain person. But in this case, I have him at 26. I have Cardell Patterson coming back from IR, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, guys like that. I would probably play him. I'd play those guys over him. A few other guys too, but yeah, not a horrible start. Neanderthal, what's going on, brother? He goes, morning, Mike. I'm hurting. Uh, Taylor Bateman. Oh no, Rashad Bateman out. Zeke been out. Lost Hollywood and Javonte Williams. Lost for the season. I'm 2-6, trying not to be last. Any advice? Just keep gunning it out, man. Just keep trying to find those waiver wire ads that could really help your team. There's not much you can really do. Oh, you're saying, sorry, you're talking about Jonathan Taylor and then Bateman and then okay. But yeah, there's not much you can really do, man. You just got to kind of ride the wave, do what you can with what you got. I have a few friends that ask me all the time, what they should be doing. And honestly, there's not much you can do. If you want to trade to get out of it, you can. But at the end of the day, all you need to do is just stay competitive. You just got to find those, big waiver ads and try to stay, above everybody else in in that aspect. Jonathan Smith says, also, I need help deciding on two of these. So Duvernay, Amon, St. Brown, Gabe Davis, Tyler Boyd. Okay. Great choices. I like Boyd a lot. Gabe Davis isn't a horrible choice. The hard part with Gabe Davis is we talked about this on Friday. He has a ridiculously high ceiling. The problem is the floor. And it's based on what you need. If you're an underdog, I'd go Gabe Davis. Amon St. Brown, I don't mind playing him today. I think they're going to need to stay. They're going to be in negative game script and they're going to have to use him. Duvernay is another guy that is going to be completely like at this point, he is in the best spot just because there's no one else there. Mark Andrews will be out. Looks like DeMarcus Robinson will probably be out as well. It's Josh Pro. I can't even say his name. They have guys that I don't even know. So for me, Prochet, I think it is. So Devin Duvernay is not a horrible choice either. I've been using him a lot in Scotty Fishbowl, and he's been doing, pretty well for me. But I would probably go with Amon and Amon-Ra, probably Boyd, just because they're not going to move. They're not going to have Jair follow him. Boyd is, in a good matchup against Carolina. So for me, yeah, I think I would go with those two. But if you need upside, if there's something, let's just say you're facing a guy that had a bunch of guys go off on Thursday, then maybe I'd go Amon and Gabe Davis. Those are probably the two I'd go with. So, all right, let's go over some other news. We have a lot of players that are out. For those who aren't aware at this moment, we have Jamar Chase. He will be out today. Corey Davis has already been ruled out. Devondre Campbell for the Green Bay Packers, their linebacker, will be out. I do think that's a significant injury. I think Jamal Williams should have a decent game. Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor will both be out today. Jonathan Taylor should be out for at least, my guess is he'll be out next week as well because of the re-aggravation. He might be back the week after. Devontae Parker will be out today. Juwan Johnson for Doxson, for the Commanders, he will be out today as well. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both going to be out today. Got word this morning that DeAndre Carter will be expected to play today with Joshua Palmer. So those are going to be two really big options. AJ Terrell for the Falcons will be out. So that's another reason why I really like that matchup. Cameron Brate will be out today for the Bucs, as well as Russell Gage and Antonio Winfield. So they will both be, or all three of them will be out as well. Marquise Goodwin will be out for the Seattle Seahawks. Mark Andrews and Gus Edwards, they're both listed as doubtful, but they will probably, doubtful means they're out. Just know that. Mark Ingram is also listed as doubtful. He will probably not play as well. He is very doubtful to the point where everything I keep reading, he will be out. So Jonathan Smith says, well, my opponent doesn't know Andrews is out, so I'm projected to win. So maybe I don't play Davis. Yeah, I mean, he could change him out at the last minute. I mean, it is a Monday night game. They do have time to change him out. It's not like he played on a Thursday and left him in. Yes, I'm talking to you, Lucas. So make sure, at this point, you're just trying to do what you can. Do you recommend I pick up Palmer for this week to play? And oh, yeah. I would play probably, I think Palmer I'd play over Gabe Davis. Or not Gabe Davis, Tyler Boyd. But yeah, if you can pick up Josh Palmer, you should. I mean, he's going to be their guy for at least the next two weeks, if not longer. I don't see Keenan Allen coming back next week, and they're coming off their bye. So for me, I think Joshua Palmer is an awesome pickup if he's available. I'm surprised he's available. I've been trying to get him all week. So yeah, no, I'm good with that. Albert, what's going on, man? So other news, like some overnight news that people might not be aware of yet. DeAndre Swift is listed as questionable. He looks like he is going to play. He's expected to play, but he will be in a limited role like he was last week. So a handful of plays here and there, maybe a touchdown. He's a very, very risky play today. I probably, if I had better options, I'm using them. Damian Harris for the Patriots. He is listed as questionable with an illness. He is unlikely to play today. So Ramondre Stevenson is a huge play today. I have him as my top. He's RB11 today for me. So make sure you guys, if you have Damian Harris, take him out of your lineup. Darren Waller, he's listed as questionable for Sunday's game, but, due to his hamstring injury, he's not fully healthy. He's probably not going to play against the Jags. So make sure you take him out of your lineup as well. A little disappointing. I have him in a few leagues. What's up, Tony Clark? How you doing, man? Glad to have you here. Always enjoy having you here. We have the Cardinals with James Conner, like we talked about in the beginning of the show. He's going to be playing, is likely to play. They do want to test him at pregame warmup, so we'll have to wait and see how things go to start. He might, he's a game time decision, but it looks like he is likely to go. Cam Akers is active today, so make sure you guys are aware that Cam Akers is active for the Rams. They will involve him. How much right now, it's going to be dictated based on the pace of flow, how the game script is, so on and so forth. So I would strongly recommend to, not play him today, just in case. James Robinson was also added to the injury report with a knee injury and is a game time decision. Right now they're listing him as pretty much doubtful. It doesn't look like he's going to play. Sal Palantonio this morning was saying that he will not play today. So make sure you're aware. What's up, Patrick Lario? He goes, God damn, Devontae Smith freaking guy. Whenever you play him, he screws me over. When I don't, he goes off. Yeah, that's Devontae Smith right there. Jonathan Smith saying ETN is an RB1 rest of the season. I completely agree. So Jonathan Smith says, I love waivers. I have Henry, Kenneth Walker, and ETN on your team. No, that's awesome. Great group of guys. I like them. Yeah, I don't mind Palmer. Palmer is a great pickup today. So if you're trying to figure out who to drop, let me know. But I really do think that Palmer is a great choice if he's available. Other news about our Sunday night game. Ryan Tannehill looks like he's questionable. Right now, they're very unlikely. Like, they keep talking about it as he's a game time decision. It looks like more than likely Malik Willis will be playing for a second straight week. So make sure you guys are aware of that. As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, DeAndre Carter, wide receiver for the Chargers, who is listed as questionable due to an illness. He was thrown on there on Friday. It looks like he's going to be available for Sunday versus, today. It's huge considering they are out Keenan Allen as well, and Donald Parham, who was also put on IR this week. So make sure you guys are aware. I'm playing him in one league because I have no other choice. Also, Kevin O'Connell, mentioned today the head coach for the Vikings basically said that tight end TJ Hawkinson is going to be playing a lot today, so he'll be heavily involved. So TJ Hawkinson should be involved as much as you would see, Irv Smith, maybe more. So looks like they will be fine. They have a lot of packages to throw them in, so I think you'll be fine. New Chiefs, Kadarius Toney. He recovered from his grade 2 hamstring pull. Weird. But they will have him out there this week. Right now they're going to use him a lot on punts, but they will probably have him, thrown in a few packages as well. So make sure you guys are aware of that. Ooh, I stand corrected. Mike Garofalo just tweeted out that James Robinson will play today. He was added to the injury report with a knee injury on Saturday. That's usually not a good sign. So I retract my previous statement. So yeah, it wasn't a hamstring pull. He definitely was. Yeah. So Ray goes Eno or DeAndre Carter on the Chargers. For me, I'd probably go DeAndre, but both are really good. It for me, it's hard because when you throw wide receiver or when you do running back and wide receiver for a PPR, it's very hard because contested catches, so on and so forth. I do like Carter a little better because of the matchup. I think Eno is going to be rotated in with James Conner, and they're just going to rotate all their backs. So, we'll have to wait and see. Patrick goes, don't have much going on. The only person that you have a question about is Christian Kirk, and the options are Khalil Herbert, Mecole Hardman, and Matt Collins, or tight end for Baltimore, which is likely. Yeah, I would probably play Kirk over all those guys just because he's the number one option. Mecole Hardman's going to have to deal with a little bit more with Kadarius Toney there. So for me, I rather know what I'm getting with Christian Kirk, even though I think Evan Ingram's the better play for the Jaguars right now. Jonathan Smith goes, my bench is Dak, Najee, Connor, Keenan Boyd, Duvernay, any of them droppable. I mean, you could probably drop Keenan. I'm joking, but I don't know if you can drop anybody for them. To be honest, I think you have a good roster right there. So there's really no point. Keenan will come back; he'll be fine. If there's an IR spot, throw Keenan on the IR and pick up Palmer. But the only guy that I would take out of that group, if you had to give me, if you had a gun to my head and say you got to take one of them out, Duvernay is probably the guy that I would pull. I do like him a lot with the Ravens, but honestly, I think Palmer's a better option. The Chargers have more of a passing game than the Ravens do. The Ravens tend to just run the ball 80% of the time compared to the Chargers, who are more like 50 to 60. So for me, Duvernay is probably the guy that you drop. You do not drop Boyd in any shape, way, or form. You can't drop Keenan Allen yet. So for me, I'm gonna stick to I'm gonna stick to Duvernay as my answer. So Patrick goes, why didn't the Giants use Toney on punts? I better never see Richie James on the field during a punt ever again. Yeah, I don't see them using him again. Just because that game he lost the game for us and we were competitive throughout the game. So I don't see them using him anymore. They're going to probably use someone else. Hayden Rittenhouse, what's going on, man? He says pick 2 PPR, Chris Godwin, Rondale Moore, or Christian Kirk. I'm probably going to go with Godwin and Moore. I do like Kirk, but maybe not for this matchup or in general because he's been down a little bit. Rondale Moore's been out for 90% of the plays. He's out there on 2 wide receiver sets. I know that he's basically shadowed by by Nuke in the context that he's pretty much, Nuke takes 12 to 13 targets a game away from everybody. So, I understand Moore is probably not the best, answer there, but Godwin and, Kirk has been underutilized recently. It's been a lot more Evan Ingram. It's just how the game has been going recently. So for me, I gotta stick with Godwin and Rondell for now. Patrick goes, should I roll with Gerald Everett or the guy from Baltimore, Mr. Isaiah Likely? I'd go with Gerald Everett today. Gerald Everett is, I think, my tight end 4 today. Let me see. He is tight end 3 for me today. So I am going with I'm going with Gerald Everett. Definitely for that one. Looks like Tre'Davious White for the Bills will not be activated today. after. Well, he was activated, but they will keep him inactive for today, so he will be a healthy scratch. I guess they just want to give him another week. Since they're playing the Jets, I think it's not a bad move. Jonathan Smith goes, I have yet to been able to put Keenan on the IR. He's always listed as questionable during the week, but trust me, I want to put him in the depths of my roster. And my IR is full of fallen soldiers. Okay, is it a keeper league? Because what I would say is, if it's a keeper league and you have one spot, just drop Michael Thomas, and I would put Keenan in that IR spot for now and pick up Palmer, because Michael Thomas to me is just not worth touching. I don't think he plays football anymore. Honestly, I think he's done for his career. He hasn't played football in 3 years. He played 2 weeks this year. So let's, just say that. Don't say the Richie James name. Oh, Jonathan. Keeping it going. I like it. Yeah, we can't say his name. So Hayden Rittenhouse goes, Derek Carr or Trevor Lawrence. Oh, they face each other in this matchup. I do like Trevor Lawrence a little bit more. I'm a big fan of him as well. So my league won't allow Keenan in the IR. Why? Because he's questionable? He should be listed as out as of now. Usually out players can get thrown in there. I mean, it's based on your settings and how things go, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, that sucks. Oh, they have to be listed on IR to be able to be in the IR. Oh, that sucks. Duvernay's the answer, though. If you're going to cut somebody for Palmer, Duvernay. And I think Palmer's a great choice. I wouldn't say rest of season, but for the next 4 or 5 weeks, he is a better option, to be honest. Ray goes, Evan Ingram or Knox. I'm going to go Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is a great week-to-week play. You can pretty much play him every week. I have him at tight end 5 this week, so definitely available. He is, but I've never been able to put him in there. I don't really know the IR settings. If it's based on the league you're in. A lot of places you can put the person that's labeled as out in the IR. I know for Yahoo you can do that. For Sleeper, you can do that as well, but all those are based on the manager's settings. So whoever, has that set, that's how they do it. But like I said, if he's listed as out, you should be able to put him in the IR spot. A lot of people are able to do that. So if he did pick up Palmer, who would you start him over, Davis or Boyd? I'd probably start both of them. I'd probably start him over Davis and Boyd. He's the number one option. It's the only guy they can pass to. And Atlanta is one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league against the pass. We saw what they did against the Bengals. And, I know Joshua Palmer is not in any shape, way, or form Jamar Chase, but they did let, 100 yards for 3 receivers on that team. So I do think that Josh and the Chargers can throw the ball. Like, it's not like they have a quarterback that's inept. Justin Herbert can throw the ball. So I do like Herbert. So Patrick goes, mine used to be like that. Had to be on the IR, but now can put someone in that's out. Yeah, they've changed that a lot. So yeah, I'm using NFL fan. Oh, don't ever if you're using NFL.com for your fantasy league, just don't tell your commissioner go somewhere else. It's not a great platform. I rather use Sleeper, Yahoo, MFL. I rather pay up for MFL than pay for or use NFL.com. It's really not a great site. It's not customizable. You don't have the options to do a lot of the things that you want to do. Sleeper and Yahoo are probably 2 of the best. Looks like Tyron Armstead for the Dolphins will be available today, so make sure you guys are aware of that. He's the left tackle for the Dolphins. That's big for Tua. Huge that he's there. Yeah, I've been stuck with Michael Thomas and Keenan on my bench instead of IR all year. We got Rasta in the house. What up? Good luck today to everybody. Jonathan Smith says, "Trust me, I hate NFL fantasy, but that's what my friends wanted to use." Well, tell your friends that it is probably one of the worst sites out there, and that Sleeper and Yahoo are two infinitely better. They are above the best in all of, yeah, it is the best out there. So, looks like Jalen Phillips for the Dolphins will be active today. He will be playing. Just need to double check something. Okay, same trade that I did. We should be getting actives and inactives shortly, just for those. Jonathan says, I like Sleeper the most. Yeah, Sleeper is a great platform. Very customizable to use what you need. Um, they, I fully support them in how they do things. It's actually how I came to find these guys. So honestly, I've always been a fan of Sleeper. Uh, I do have other apps that I like a little better for things like news, but other than that, I think they are probably one of the best platforms out there for your league to be a part of. So yeah. Jonathan Smith says, "Do you think Jeff Wilson will take over as the running back one ahead of Mostert?" No, I think they're going to be. I think it's going to be more of a 50-50 split eventually. I think this week we'll probably see a little less than what we would think. I think Jeff Wilson's more the goal line guy for this group of guys. I do think that he'll be involved. Uh, so I think he's going to be a little bit more involved than Chase Edmond, was. I don't think Raheem Mostert can last a full season the way he is. Jeff Wilson is a good complement to him. They're both quick, they're both fast, but Wilson's a little bit bigger of a back, so he can get those short yardage plays that Chase Edmonds couldn't. So I think he'll be used a little bit more on goal line, short yardage, 3 and 2, things like that. Ray asking a really good question. Singletary or Khalil Herbert full PPR? I'm probably going to go Singletary here. I like Singletary's offense. If I read something that the Bills are, I think, fourth or 14th in the league or something. I forgot the number, but I know it was in the top third of passing down to the running back. So that's great news to hear. I'm a big fan of Singletary, especially in this game. So, is either one of them usable in fantasy? I just really like the offense there in Miami. Yeah, I think both are incredibly useful. Uh, so we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know how their usage will be moving forward. I mean, I have Jeff Wilson on one of my team. I was going to drop him last week, and when I heard the news that he was going to move, I kept him for now. So he's in a good situation with an old, coordinator that he knows, good system. I don't see anything changing, but we will see. I'm getting news that Christian Watson will play today for the Packers. So that's good news for the Pack. They definitely need wide receiver help. Alan Lazard was listed as questionable as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Jonathan Smith says Hines take over in Baltimore. No, I don't think, or in Buffalo. I don't think he takes over that role. They really like Singletary. I think they just wanted a really good compliment and he's more insurance for the playoffs. They're going to use him. It's not like they won't, but I do think that the only person that it really affects is Isaiah McKenzie a little bit. They'll probably, from what I'm gathering, they will probably play a lot of Singletary and Hines out on the field in like a 3 wide receiver set type thing where Hines will be in the slot type situation. They're trying to create matchups to take pressure off of Stephon Diggs. So I really do think that that's what it is. I also think that James Cook kind of takes a hit as well. I did too. I'm a big James Cook fan. I thought he was a decent pickup for them. I kind of wish he went to a team where they could have used him on his own, but it is what it is. The Commanders declared the following people as inactive. Looks like Dwan Johnson, Holcomb. Those are big moves out. Jamar Chase will be out today. Mike Hilton will be out as well. So another reason why I love Boyd a lot. So it looks like Trey Flowers is going to be out, as well as Mike Hilton, who is their cornerback. I mean, that's kind of significant right now, because this makes guys like DJ Moore. I like him a lot today, and Terrace Marshall. Um, Looks like Darren Waller is officially an inactive. So he will be an inactive today. Jordan Poyer will be out. Matt Milano will be out for the Bills as well. James Robinson, we know, is listed as active. I will find. Oh, yes, Swift is active today. So it looks like inactives are Josh Reynolds. He's the only one that you guys would care about. Looks like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, as we knew, are going to be out today. Those we are aware of already. So we have a full list coming out soon, but it looks like all those players will be out as well. Looks like Velus Jones is a healthy scratch today. That just shows with Claypool. So Claypool will be active today. Claypool on the Bears, as people know from the trade deadline. Looks like Zach Moss will be out today, so Zach Moss won't be involved today. It looks like it will be Deion Jackson. He will be the guy. DeAndre Swift is officially listed as active. Everyone else that I mentioned before, Josh Reynolds, will be inactive. So know that as well. Okay, nothing else at the moment. Um, do, do, do. All right. Other inactives. Joe Flacco will be inactive today. DeAndre Carter is active. So for those who were waiting for DeAndre Carter to be active, he will be active today. Joe Flacco, no one really else on. Oh, Corey Davis, we already knew. So Jonathan goes, are you in any IDP leagues or have any IDP rankings? So I'm in an IDP league, but if Martin's watching, which I know he's not, he has a show right now, Martin will argue that I do not have a IDP league. I do run with a few. We have two. We have a IDP flex with a defensive back spot. So we do have it. We do run it. I don't do rankings for it, but I do have it. Side note, Bakhtiari, Lazard, and Christian Watson and Preston Smith are all going to be available for the Packers today. Full list of, I keep getting a bunch of things. So yeah, Chubb and Wilson will make debuts. Also, so the inactives lists for today, Darren Waller will be inactive. Matt Milano for the Bills will be inactive. DeAndre Carter is active. He will be playing today. Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson will play, and Alan Lazard will play as well. And like I said, also James Robinson is active. The rest we kind of went over. But if you missed any of the ones that I said and you need to ask, just ask. I remember the list. But yeah, like I said, I do run in IDP in IDP circles. Just have a question for me. Let me know. If you wanted to jump, just to let you know, go to Dynasty Pylon. They are on YouTube. They are on right now with the Nerd Huddle. They are doing their Sunday morning show. They do, Martin does IDP. So make sure you guys, if you don't think I have the best answer for you, run over to Martin. Come on back. He will be back. They shut down at like 12. But definitely ask him. But you can ask me too. I have really no problem answering those questions as well. Warrior Loft, what's going on, man? Good morning to you as well. He goes with a new rookie running back and a backup QB on the Colts. Pats might get several offensive opportunities. Who do you start? Nick Folk or Will Lutz? I like Nick Folk. Nick Folk is consistent. He will, they'll have plenty of opportunities for this game. I am more than comfortable using Nick Folk. Ross Bob, what's going on, Ross? Nice to meet you. Glad to have you a part of the show. First time seeing your name, so I'm glad to have you here. We have, should I start David Montgomery or Cordero Patterson? Interesting. Cordero Patterson or Montgomery. So I have Montgomery listed as my 9th. I have Cordero at my 25th. Miami has been able to give up stuff on the run. For me, I would probably go with Montgomery, even though Patterson's probably going to take a lot, but they are going to probably rotate a lot of guys into that as well. I think Miami's the better matchup, considering, they've given up a lot to running backs recently. So for me, I'm going to go with Dave Montgomery. So Jonathan goes, I'm shocked. Martin actually acknowledged you are in an IDP league when I was in the stream the other day. He always tells me I'm not. He always tells me that my team sucks. So I'm going to go with Nick Bolton here, and it's because they're facing the Tennessee Titans. I usually will recommend, if you have a linebacker that you're trying to figure out, if you're going to play them against Derrick Henry. They always do well, considering that they run the ball a ridiculous amount of time. So I'm going to go with Nick Bolton here. Nothing like listening to Mike ramble on a Sunday morning. Thanks, Cody. Oh man. So yeah, I'm shocked because Martin always tells me how much he hates my particular IDP league. And like I said, it's not really an IDP league. It's 2 spots that we use defensive players compared to, and you can pretty much, interchange everybody. It's not consistently the way it is. So not like his leagues. Looks like Damian Harris is listed as out. So get Damian Harris out of your lineup. Chuba Hubbard is inactive, which we already knew ahead of time. And excuse me, no other big news that I see here. So I asked him a question. He said, if I have other questions to ask you. Perfect. Yeah. No, I do like Nick Bolton. I think Nick Bolton is a good choice today. Jordan Hicks, it's not a horrible option going against the Seattle Seahawks. Or no, he's on Minnesota, right? Minnesota is going against Washington. Yeah, no, I'm going to stick with Nick. I'm going to stick with good old Nick Bolton. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about my damn Saints till tomorrow, and I can enjoy Sunday football. Oh, I agree. I don't have to worry about the Giants today. Oh, Dr. Clutch in the house. Yo, Isaiah Likely or Kyle Pitts? That's a great question. I'm going to go with Isaiah Likely. And I only say that because I do think Kyle Pitts is going to be matched up with Derwin James, and I don't think he can win that matchup. So I'm going to go Isaiah Likely. Yeah. So you guys keep throwing your particular, questions in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up my screen real quick, and we're going to go over some DFS value picks to start the day. So please, like I said, if you have other questions, please make sure you throw them in the chat. I will get to them, throughout this particular, segment. So Jonathan goes, Pitt's already had his one good game. He's done for the rest of the year. Hey man, I have Kyle Pitts ranked very low. So for me, yeah, I agree. I'm not a big Kyle Pitts fan. All right. So we're going to start with the QB, and we're going to go for some QB value picks. We have Josh Allen as 9,300. Honestly, Josh Allen is not a horrible pick this week against the Jets. I do think this is a little bit of a quote unquote trap game. It's one of those scenarios that the Jets are a little bit better than you think they are. And they've been doing well against other QBs. So for me, I'm not saying that Josh Allen has a bad day, just saying might not want to pay up for him this week, but there are plenty of other options out there. I do like Justin Herbert today at $7,800. That's probably one of my favorite picks. Kirk Cousins as well, 7,900. I mean, come on now. Just a great pick. Justin Fields at $7,400. He's a steal as well. His rushing floor is a huge help. But one guy, if you really want to go low, is Aaron Rodgers, which is sad to see him at $7,000. I mean, he is not a horrible pick today for a quarterback. And if you want to go really low, Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a great option today against the Raiders. Raiders have been letting up a lot of points to the QB as of late. Dr. Clutch goes, who's a more comfortable drop from my team? A.J. Dillon or Khalil Herbert? Ugh. I think the answer to the question is who you have above that. If you have Aaron Jones and you're using A.J. Dillon as a handcuff, you can't drop Dillon. You can probably drop Khalil Herbert. We had this conversation on Friday. If you take the name and the team away from the player, so if you just take everything away from it except for the stats, A.J. Dillon is at this point a waiver person. He is a waiver wire, running back that you shouldn't have on your team. The only reason why you have him on your team is because he can be an RB1 if Aaron Jones goes down. So at this point, it's hard to tell you who to drop because Dillon is still valuable. But at the end of the day, I would want to probably drop Dillon. But Khalil Herbert has been doing well and has some steady value. So for me, I think it's hard to say A.J. Dillon. My heart is not saying A.J. Dillon here, but my head is. So I have Eckler, Pierce, Foreman, Hubbard, Dobbs, and Elijah Mitchell all rot. Yeah, you could probably drop. It's hard to say drop Dillon. I'd probably go Khalil Herbert just because Dillon is so valuable if you're in a situation, which it looks like you have a situation. Actually, to be honest, out of this whole group of running backs, the one guy I would be dropping is Chuba Hubbard. You have Foreman. I understand you have Hubbard and you're trying to hold him from someone else, but I would get rid of Hubbard and keep the group that you have. Just my advice. That's what I would do. I like A.J. Dillon and Khalil Herbert, but they will take over as running back ones. Chuba Hubbard won't. So yeah, that's just my advice. Next, we're going to go over the running back values, and you kind of led me into who one of my running back value picks is today, and that's Deontay Foreman. I mean, it's not really a value because he's above $7,000, but for me, that's a huge steal. 7,300 is a good price for him as well. You can even add Jamal Williams in there for paying $200 more. So I really do like it a lot. Another guy that I would want to list on here is Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert is $6,500. Chicago just let go of, Roquan Smith. So not a bad option as well. I do like Raheem Mostert in this matchup as well. Another guy that if you want to pay a little bit lower is Devin Singletary, $6,000 going against the Jets. Not a bad price point for him today. I do like him in this matchup. And if you really want to really spend down, but be aware, everyone knows that Deion Jackson is currently, I mean, he's the guy. So $5,000, I think everyone is, doing that. Hold on. It's trying to speak to me. I just got the come over from. Okay. Green Arrow, what's going on, man? Zach Ertz versus Seattle Seahawks or Isaiah Likely versus the Saints. I'm going to go with Zach Ertz. I'm a big fan of Ertz, for the rest of the season, to be fair. He is one of my favorite, but you cannot get rid of Isaiah Likely. I do like Zach Ertz a lot. Also, Anthony wants to make sure you guys are aware. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, liking the show. We are giving away a Gabe Davis signed jersey at 600 subscribers. So make sure you guys are aware and make sure you guys are subscribed. We will be doing this soon. We're at, I think we're only 30 some odd away or just under 40. So make sure you guys check them out. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. So Green Arrow goes, even with him seeing less targets. Yeah, I do still like Ertz. They use him a lot in the red zone. Isaiah Likely, I'm not, I understand his usage will increase versus the Saints. Saints do have a good pass. Well, they have good corners. They have good coverage linebackers as well. So for me, I rather go with Zach Ertz, who is true and trusted. He's definitely someone, even uh with with Hopkins in there. I like him a lot. I think he can still, he's still number 2 in targets for the most part, and he's been consistent all year. So Rasta going, I like Ertz over Likely, but I'm starting Likely with confidence in several leagues that I had Andrews. So it's based on your scenario. So make sure you guys, know who you got and who's going on. I do, in this case. Oh wow. Patrick goes, no, you're 27 subs away. Come on, guys. Use your kids, your wives, your cousins' page. Yes, Patrick did this. If you have a kid, throw them in there. Just do it and then just turn the notification off because we go on real late. But yeah, make sure you guys check us out. Make sure you guys are subbing. Jonathan Smith says the Saints are a boomer bust against tight end. We've given up either 23 or 3. Yeah, Jonathan sees it every week. I do, Tyrann Mathieu is a good cover, a good cover guy. They do have other guys that do well against the tight end. I honestly think that Ertz is just a better player, and they do throw the ball a lot more. They are probably I think they're the highest passing volume team in the league, or one of them. I think they're top 5 for Arizona. So for me, I just like Ertz. I have Ertz ranked at, I think, tight end 1 this week, considering that, well, tight end 2, I think, because Kelsey's always going to be 1. Yeah, I've Ertz at 2 this week. I have Isaiah Likely at 12. Not to say that he's a bad choice, but I would play a lot of other guys above him. So Patrick goes, even make 20 new emails up. We don't want to pay. We don't want someone doing that. We want actual viewership. We don't want someone paying for our particular, subs here. Wilson in the house. What's up, Wilson? Glad to have you in here. Always glad to see Wilson in here. All right. Even make up 27 new emails and pages and subs. Is that a conspiracy? Yeah, we don't need that, but we do appreciate the dedication. Yeah, I agree with Rasta. We don't need you to make up 20 new emails. We want viewership. We want people to come and enjoy our conversations and, be involved. So make sure you guys are subbing. Make sure you send out to your friends and family, anybody that wants to join. We're always here for you guys. We're here to help you guys with your leagues in any shape, way, or form. We love the camaraderie and talking with you guys, one-on-one. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. Yeah, but it'd be good for the algorithm. Yeah, no, I know. We're trying to get above 600, and we're almost, we're trying to get something to, get us to 1,000 so we can, be very, start making some money off of this and doing, a lot more to get you guys greater content and stuff like that. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys sub to our show. We want everybody possible. I guess that's the Italian in me. Yeah, we'll get there, man. Just share with your friends. Anyone that's interested in fantasy football, mention us. I was in AC the other day, mentioned it to the guy that I bought candy from. Like anything, just mention us, throw us out there. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show, and we'll give away that Gabe Davis jersey before you know it. So let's move on to the wide receiver values today. There are quite a few people out, guys like Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen. So this kind of opens things up a little bit. One of my favorite picks this week is DJ Moore. Now, he had a great game last week, but one of the things that just came up is Mike Hilton and Azaria is out for the Cincinnati Bengals. So for them, that's their top two corners, and it's just Eli Apple. So I think DJ Moore can win that matchup. He's a good price point at $7,000. I really do like him a lot. You can throw Tyler Boyd in there as well in the same matchup, $6,900. Not a bad choice. I did mention our good friend Gabe Davis, as always. Gabe Davis, $6,600 against the Jets. Not a bad move. That's, in DFS. Let's make that clear. DFS. Joshua Palmer, who I've been talking up all day, I think he will be widely used today. So if you have other options, you might want to, stay away from him in tournament play, cash play. You could probably use him pretty well. Like if you're facing your friends, $6,200, not a bad choice at all. Adam Thielen is another choice against Washington, $6,200. I think he can do well today as well. One guy a little bit lower on this list is Mac Hollins. Honestly, $5,700. He's been productive every week this season. I do like him a lot. One guy that I brought up on the show and I got made fun of consistently is Terrace Marshall. I'm going to bring him up again because he is same argument. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be weak on the outside. I think this game is a over game. I think it's going to be a shootout more than you think. I think PJ Walker has been doing a great job in Carolina recently. I think Terrace Marshall has the game of his life here. And at this point, not a bad price point at $5,400. If you want to spend up on all your other guys and you have just one of those dart throws, Terrace Marshall is definitely one of those. Another guy is the guy right below him. Khalif Raymond is also an option as well. Ahmad's going to be out there, but Josh Reynolds will be inactive today. So Khalif Raymond has actually been pretty good while everyone has been out. So Wilson goes, would you start Pittman over Duvernay? Unfortunately, I would, but I would lower your expectations. It's really tough to gauge Pittman at this point with Sam Ehlinger behind center. Duvernay is probably more consistent. For me, I think the floor is Pittman and the ceiling is Duvernay. So it's based on what you need. PJ to DJ. I like it. Yes, I like DJ Moore a lot rest of season as well in regular redraft and everything leagues. So moving to tight end. Tight end here, we got a lot of options. And one of the first ones I'll mention is Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett is $5,800 in a really good matchup against Atlanta. You can throw on everybody in Atlanta. So make sure you put Gerald Everett in your lineup. Also, Evan Ingram at $5,200. I'm using him everywhere. That is a huge price difference. And, compared to everybody on this list, I think he's going to be heavily used today as well. I'm not going to stop it. I already read it. I'm not going to do it. Robert Tonyan against Detroit, I think, is another option. I think this is, I had this listed before I knew about Allen Lazard, but I still think it's a good option. $5,000, good price, good matchup. I'm good with Robert Tonyan today. And another one is Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is just more of a tight end or more of a touchdown option in this particular scenario. But he's $4,700, not a huge, not a horrible play. So I do think that this could be, a good play. And I'm only going to bring this up because he did. Stop it with Terrace Marshall. No way PJ Walker and that Carolina O-line can support two relevant wide receivers. They did last week. Maybe he gets 2 for 30 and you'd be ecstatic if he somehow scores a touchdown. I'm calling it now that he has a top 20 week. I think he's going to do really well. So we're just hoping he throws a TD to DJ Moore. That's not a Hail Mary. Yeah. No, I get it. I think he has a really good week. Patrick goes, I don't know, man. My guy Isaiah Likely from the Ravens is in a good spot with Andrews out and Bateman done for the season. I don't disagree with that. I just think that Zach Ertz is a better tight end overall. He is always top in every week. He's at least one of the top 10 tight ends. I understand he is a person that is, with Deshaun or with DeAndre Hopkins there, it kind of screwed his value up a little bit. But Likely, I don't trust until he's going to be the guy all the time. He's really just a weekly flyer. And honestly, I mean, I'm looking up stats for half PPR right now for the tight end, and I understand that likely hasn't played all year, uh, but Zach Ertz is the fifth tight end overall in half PPR. I mean, he's 3 points less than Taysom Hill, which is incredible to see. I didn't realize Taysom Hill was fourth overall in all tight ends. But I understand tight end is one of those fickle spots. And that's with Mark Andrews out for a couple of weeks. So, yep, that's where I'm going to go. Also, let's go to defense. Let's go to defensive choices this week. And of course, if you want to pay up for the Buffalo Bills, go for it. If you want to pay up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, go for it. You want to pay up for the Minnesota Vikings, go for it. I'm telling you, they are not horrible plays this week. I think, and even New England, if you want to throw New England in there, these top 4 picks, if you want to spread the ball out, go for it. I really do think that these are great picks. But if you want to spend a little bit less, let's bring you some options. Green Bay Packers at $4,100, I think are a good pick. The Chargers are another good pick at $3,900 going against Atlanta. Same conversation. Right now, the Miami Dolphins going against Chicago today, $3,600. I don't mind this at all. It is a little chilly in Chicago, but all games right now for weather are moot. That you can pretty much be okay with any game today. All of them are pretty good. And Carolina, I know this seems like a really contrarian play, but Carolina at $3,300. Carolina has probably one of the best pass rushes in the league. And they're going against Joe Burrow, who is probably one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league, if not the most sacked quarterback in the league. So for me, this isn't a horrible matchup if you want to spend down on money. You just can't use, I wouldn't use guys like Tyler Boyd or Joe Mixon if you're in that scenario. But honestly, I think this is actually not a bad play today, the Carolina Panthers. So we fading Taysom Hill or Tunyon? That's a great question. Anthony goes, I prefer Tunyon over Hill, but we know Hill's upside, and I completely agree. Hill's upside is off the charts. We just had this conversation a minute ago that Taysom was 4th overall, which I wasn't even aware of that. He's 4th overall at the tight end position this year. He's just below Mark Andrews and Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz is right there with TJ Hawk and Tyler Conklin below him. Right now, I mean, Robert Tunyon is just below Hayden Hurst. So I don't know. I'd probably fade Tunyon before I faded Hill. I think Hill has been consistent. I mean, every game that I see, except for 2 games technically, because one of the 2 games he was hurt. He's been a relatively normal tight end, 14 points, 8 points, his big game with 34, but his ceiling is so high that I can't fade Taysom. So Shea Poe. Sorry. If I messed up your name, I'm really sorry, brother. Glad to have you here. He goes, Colts or Panthers? Both could present pressure to the opposing QB. Gilmore ready to get some interceptions. I don't disagree with that, but I do think that if you're going to choose somebody this week, I think the Panthers are a decent option. Like I said, their pass rush is actually really good with Brian Burns and who's the other guy I always forget the other guy on the outside, but Brian Burns can really pressure the quarterback. So for me, I like the Panthers a little bit more than the Colts if you have that particular option. Colts going against Mac Jones, I do think that they have been relatively good. Their interior is actually, the Patriots interior lineman, Dan Andrews, he's out today. So honestly, the Colts aren't a horrible option. If you had me rank them, where did I put Indy compared to Carolina? I have Indy at 9, Carolina at 14, but I do see Carolina being a good defense today. But yeah, I guess Indianapolis isn't a horrible option today. So yeah, we'll stick with the Colts here. But I do like the Panthers, even though I think that game's going to be a pretty big shootout. I think it's going to mimic a few of the games that we had in like the 30s this year. In my free league, Dobbs or Palmer? Palmer. Palmer is going to be my answer to 99% of my answers is going to be Joshua Palmer. I do think Joshua Palmer is probably one of the best options uh, today. So he is definitely a great option if you need it. So, all right. So we are done with, well, no, we're not done. We're going to actually make a team right now. We're going to make a team. We're going to start with our QB. I think we're going to go, I think I'm going to pay down a little bit for QB. I think I'm going to stick. I have Justin Herbert in a lot of leagues. I think I'm going to play him today. And like I said, Joshua Palmer is probably the best play to link him to. If you want to spend down, you could probably use Gerald Everett. But for my usage, I'm going to use Joshua Palmer. Kind of opens things up. I do think Deion Jackson, like I said, he opens you up to be able to do a little bit more with your particular lineup. So we'll throw Deion Jackson in there as well. Um, you know, we can look at other running backs as kind of, or wide receivers. This opens this up to Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. I think Jefferson and Diggs and Hill are really good options. I think Hill is actually on a lower end. Another guy is Hopkins as well. I kind of like Justin Jefferson a lot today. I just have a feeling with him today. I'm going to throw him in there. Tight end, like I told you guys in the beginning of the show, I really like Evan Ingram. I'm going to throw him in there as well just to get that figured out. I might use Carolina here just because, the way that I'm building my team, it looks like they might be a good option here. So I'm going to throw Carolina in. I don't think I'm going to use you know, a running back option or that from the Bengals just because. Um, Other good options here. I mean, Travis Etienne has been on fire lately. Ramondre Stevenson is by himself, but like I said, interior is going to be rough. I don't think they're going to be running up the gut. I could see Josh Jacobs coming back for, having a great game today. I also like Aaron Jones. I'm going to throw him in there. I think he's probably the best option. Wide receiver wise, we can figure out what we can do from here. I think we can kind of, I wouldn't say spend down, but we could probably find a better option in here. I do think, Matt Collins is a good choice. DeAndre Carter isn't a bad choice, but we already used Joshua Palmer. Let's see. Who should we go with? Can use Adam Thielen. You know what? I'm going to throw Gabe Davis in there and see what we can do with our flex. Our flex is now, we got $9,100. I think we have plenty of money to play around with now. I can go with anybody here, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Kenneth Walker against Arizona. All these are fantastic options and leaves me with a little bit of room if I wanted to use anyone else. But you know what? I think I'm going to use Stephon Diggs here. I do not. Well, no, I'm going to use Josh Jacobs. I like Josh Jacobs here. This leaves me with 300 left over. I can definitely move this around if I really wanted to. I can even maybe move up on my defense a little bit. Let's see what my options are at defense if I wanted to. Miami against Chicago, that's not a bad option either. Carolina was there. So you know what? I'll move up to Miami. Let Miami against Chicago. I think that's not a horrible play either. So yeah, I'm going to enter this lineup in. I think this is a great lineup for us. Awesome. Look at that lineup. Justin Herbert, Deion Jackson, Aaron Jones, Joshua Palmer, Justin Jefferson, Gabe Davis, Evan Ingram with Josh Jacobs and the Miami Dolphins. I like that one a lot. So I'll get back to some of your questions. I see this all on here as well. So let's get rid of that. So I need to drop off someone on my bench, Pacheco, Wilson, or Cortland Sutton. I think I'm going to go with, for me, it's Pacheco. I do like Jeff Wilson. I do like Cortland Sutton. For me, it's Pacheco. There, Shay. Just so you're aware. All right, Patrick, he's out of here. I need a huge win today. Still third place last week. Ruined my fourth game of the year, or 4-game winning streak. But he had a lot of guys out. So you need the win. Good luck there, Patrick. Deion Jackson or Khalil Herbert from Wilson. I like Deion Jackson today over Khalil Herbert. I think that will be a good matchup. Heard about you guys through Sleeper, enjoying the show. Thanks, Shay. I really appreciate hearing that. Really, we're here every Sunday. We're also here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well. So make sure you guys check us out. We're a little bit later. We're about 11 o'clock p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, sometimes 12 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you guys are aware of that. We also, Ant and them are from the West Coast. So that's why we're a little bit later as well. Montgomery or Herbert, I got to lean Montgomery. I think they'll use him a lot. It's a run first offense. So Shay, I shout out several posts on Sleeper about Get Right Fantasy. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Wilson. We always appreciate it. Wilson is one of our biggest ambassadors, so we really do appreciate his help today. Dr. Clutch goes Mike Gesicki or Taysom Hill. That's a tough question. I do like Taysom Hill here. So I'm going to say Taysom Hill. Shay goes Patriots are down center and outside right tackle. So Parker is out as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the Colts as the defense that you picked. Patrick goes, make sure you subscribe. We need 27 more people so we can give away our signed Gabe Davis jersey. So this is for all subscribers. Spread the word. Shay, we're always here to help you guys. And, we want to show our appreciation as well. Shay, thanks for joining. I shout out several posts. Yeah, he already said that. He said it again. Drew Lario. Oh, you just missed Patrick. Just missed him. Your long lost cousin. Patrick is just leaving. So he goes Mariota or T-Law, 4-point passing touchdown. I hate that. I would probably lean Mariota, even though I don't like that scenario for him. But I liked T-Law is definitely a better real life QB. Maybe not the higher ranked fantasy QB. It's so hard here. This is a tough one for me because I love Trevor Lawrence more than I do Mariota. I actually hate Mariota. I have Trevor Lawrence at 13. I have Mariota at 15. So I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence here. Dr. Clutch goes, is Elijah Moore worth a roster spot still? For me, he's not. I don't like guys that are in their situation that they are wanting a trade, getting pissed off that they didn't. I like Brandon Cooks a lot, but I kind of lost a little respect for him with his situation. And essentially that's what's happening here. But honestly, I don't know. I don't think he's a roster. I don't think you can have him on your roster anymore. So Jonathan Smith says that he'd go with T-Law against the Raiders, giving up at least 17 points to the QB. So I agree with that. I'm a bigger fan of Trevor Lawrence, to be honest. Anthony goes, Doctor, nah, not until we see more. But of course, if you drop him, he'll probably score a touchdown. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think more is anything. Rasta goes, we appreciate the sub there, Shay. So yes, I definitely appreciate the sub. Any sub, like all those things, I really do appreciate it. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully we can help you win your week. Career enough. And if I mess that up, I am so sorry. I am really bad at names unless you're John or Anthony in this case, or Jonathan. But Tua, Herbert, or Gino, full PPR. I'm going Herbert. That's an easy one for me. Best matchup against the QB. Right now, Falcons are hurt. Tua's not a bad option. Gino's not a bad option. I think all three of them are great. But I have Justin Herbert ranked at QB4, Tua at 8, and Gino at 11. So for me, it's pretty easy. Justin Herbert, he is probably one of my favorite options this week. I picked him up, like I said, used him in DFS. So looks like Odell Beckham will be fully cleared by the end of the week. So it looks like Odell Beckham is ready to go and ready to join another team. This is according to Jay Glazer. So if you can add Odell Beckham, add him to your team. He's going to go somewhere and he'll be used. He'll probably be used for a day and then get hurt, but I'm okay with it. So Jonathan Smith says, I offered up Kenneth Walker and Boyd for Hopkins and got clowned for offering that. Was that a bad trade? No. I don't think that's a bad trade at all. I don't understand why you're getting clowned for it. I mean, people are the recency bias is there, but I don't. They got to remember Tyler Boyd is a wide receiver 2. He is a solid wide receiver 2 in an offense that won't have Chase for at least another 4 or 5 weeks. And, Kenneth Walker is a stud. So Jonathan goes, they need a running back and had Hop on his bench. He has, yeah. Then the guy in your league's an idiot. just saying. So Shay goes, instead of dropping Pacheco, I could also drop Freiermuth. I would have to bid a good amount of fab to get him back. Dropping Muth would at least give me an opportunity to see Casey's usage today. You're not okay. This is my opinion about the Kansas City backfield. It's going to be right now. It's going to be CEH, and then it's going to be Jerick McKinnon, and then it's going to be Pachenko to basically spell CEH. Now, the usages throughout the year have been CEH has kind of led the pack, and Pacheco's, when he was that starter that 1 week, he didn't do that well for you. I understand the reasoning. To me, he's like the Derwin Thompson. If ever, if people remember Derwin Thompson, like that's who he is to me. But I understand because he's in an offense that is a high powered and, someone could fall. And yeah, I get it. But for me, dropping Freiermuth isn't horrible if you have a good tight end above Freiermuth. So if you have someone that's worth it, maybe, but I don't know. Kiernoth, what's going on? What do you think of Devontae nowadays? He doesn't feel like a top 5 receiver for fantasy anymore. I don't disagree with you. I do like him a lot. I mean, he is definitely one of the best and most elite wide receivers out there. I think Derek Carr has been holding him back a little bit. He is a top option though, so it's hard to get rid of him. But I do like him. You can't really get rid of him unless you're trading him, and if you trade him, get a lot for him. So, Jonathan saying I would sell Devontae, like I said, if you can get someone like D-Hop or around that. I agree 100%. If you can trade, or if a Raiders fan that, likes him a lot, trade him for, for a guy like Hop or something like that, you could probably do it. Shay going, I'm hard pressed and thinking Sutton doesn't bounce back this season because of Russ, but his end of season schedule looks decent. Yeah, no, you can't drop Cortland Sutton. I understand Russ has been kind of disappointing this year. I backed the guy all off season. I was very happy with this particular move. It's a new offense for him. It's a new system. It's a new everything for him. He's still acting like an idiot instead of just, being real with people. And, I think people are kind of getting onto the fact that he's kind of a phony. But at the same time, he's still a good quarterback. It's really just I think he just has to get out of the old mindset. But honestly, I think him and Sutton have a good relationship. It's hard to drop someone like Cortland Sutton, even though he's had a rough couple weeks. But they have the bye week. They could be okay coming back. They have a good schedule moving forward. I don't think you can drop him. So Anthony helping out in the chat going, I have Herbert right ahead of Tua, so it's close for me. Chicago has a good secondary. I agree 100% with that, which is why I put him just behind Tua. His weapons are better. Herbert, I might move Tua up. I don't know. I like Herbert way more. Jonathan Smith says you could get a lot for Devontae, simply off his name value. I completely agree. Kermith is going, yeah, Anthony, but Herbert has an O-line that's very leaky. Oh, I don't disagree with that. They've been very, I thought they built their line pretty well in the offseason, but it hasn't been working the way that they want to. But you will see a lot of dump offs to Austin Eckler as well as throws to Joshua Palmer. I do think that this game is huge. I think you'll see a huge game from him today. Jonathan saying that Sutton could bounce back, but Judy is a wide receiver one every time they play. They both play. I love Sutton. I want him to do well. We all do. Um, so Shay goes, do you guys post a AMA on Sleeper? No, we don't. We should. I used to do it a little bit more in the off season. But we prefer doing live on air type stuff with YouTube. So rather be doing this than that type of stuff. But we are active in Sleeper. We try to be as active as possible. We do have our own Sleeper channel. Make sure you guys check the link below. We have a great group of guys. Everybody that you've seen in here is in there, and we all help each other answer questions. So make sure you guys check out that particular thing. You can also DM us as well. We are very active helping out anybody we can. So Anthony goes, I think dropping Pacheco is better because even if he has a good game, if you are pretty solid at running back, because, CEH and McKinnon will still have their role. Pacheco won't be like Pierce or Walker. Yeah, I agree with him. I don't think that Pacheco can be either one of those guys. Anthony says, but he has something called Eckler. Yeah, he can definitely just dump it off to Eckler and he will take over. So Genius Smith or Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is going against the Lions, one of the worst defenses in the league. I know he's been mediocre, if less. I understand Gino's been doing well. Interdivision match, both are interdivision. So for me, I don't know. I have to lean Aaron Rodgers. He gets a lot of people back today. Bakhtiari's back. He usually does better with him in the lineup. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers here. Kerneth going, I'll go all in on Herbert then today. We'll stack him with Palmer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have DeAndre Carter that I'm playing. Like, I have no other choice, though. But honestly, DeAndre Carter, I think, could have a good game, too. So, Anthony goes, Shay, no, just DM guys asking questions in sleeper threads because most folks would rather get live responses than just a text. I completely agree. So definitely check us out here. Check us out in our sleeper channel. Like I said, all the links are below. We have a lot of, helpful people in there that really are, here to help everybody. It's a great community. I do live, I do injury updates throughout the day. Normally I don't do them today because, everyone sees the news as the game goes. But I do injury news throughout the week and give you guys up to the minute stuff so you guys can get guys before other people. Shea goes, I suppose Kansas City didn't really use Pacheco last week anyway, ended up with Harmon getting a lot of gadget work. Yeah, and they have Kadarius Toney now. So they're going to throw him in there. He's going to be a part of packages as well. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen for Pacheco to be useful. Let's put it that way. Jonathan going, Gino against Arizona, kind of weak. I agree. I think he can do okay, but I just Aaron Rodgers against the Lions is just too juicy. Dr. Clutch goes, just came out that Odell will be cleared. Yeah, I just mentioned that a couple minutes ago. Cody goes, what up, brother? Gino, even though his last performance against Arizona didn't go great, I just don't trust Rodgers. Yeah, I agree with the narratives with Rodgers and all that, and Gino's on the up, Rodgers on the down. I get it, but I do think he can bounce back today. I think it's a decent week. Kidder, what's going on, man? Welcome to the channel. The Colts will have an away game next week because of bans of American grad nationals. What? Can you explain what you're talking about? I don't get how this is relevant. American Grand Nationals. Yeah. Were they supposed to have a home game? I didn't know that. Also, Ann says, just so you guys know, you can find our rankings as well at getrateff.com. So make sure you guys check that out as well. We post our rankings every week so that you guys have, up to date rankings all the time. Me and him pretty much add as much as possible and make sure that we, set up our lineups as much as possible. Saying hello to Aunt Jonathan Smith. Since I know you love your kickers, Mike, I got upset I had to drop Carlson for a bye. Some kickers you don't drop. That's just my opinion. I'm not dropping Graham Gano, but I understand, and was very upset he was putting up like 15 points. But now I have Myers and Carlson got shut out, so I'm happy. Okay, fair point. It happens. That game was tough to watch. For me, I like guys. I don't like to get rid of guys unless I have to. So that's just me. Graham Gano, I can't give up. It's hard. I have a lot of guys. I got 3 guys I got to replace next week. I got a whole, I have a whole thing in my head that I want. I have a certain way I'm going to do stuff this week, so that I can get what I need for next week, so that I have that lineup set. Got a few top key guys that are going to be out, so I need to tread carefully and make sure that I get what I need. So, is Deshaun Watson worth an IR spot for his comeback? All right, here's my opinion about Deshaun Watson. He hasn't played football in essentially 2 years. He had a really weak preseason. I do think Amari Cooper is fine, as Jonathan Smith is mentioning in the chat. He is a top 10 right now. I think he's wide receiver 8 on the year, and that's before the bye. So for me, I think Watson can be he's going to be a low end QB1 to start. His talent is there. He's very talented. He can run the ball. But the thing is, he hasn't played quarterback in a while. And I do think that it's something that you got to be aware of. So you can stash him. If you're like a last place team and you need like a decent quarterback to get you out of it, not a bad choice. Kiernoth goes, will it be Koo season today? Yeah, I think Koo can do okay. I have him in my Scotty Fishbowl. I think Koo will be fine. Koo can hit 50 or more and is pretty consistent. So I like him a lot. Shay goes, that makes sense. Just figured the sleeper AMA is a good way to promote the channel. You could say you're answering here. Yeah, no, of course. We've done that before. We do it in the off season a little more than we do in the in season, just because we have a little more time on our hands. And this is not my day job. I do have a job outside of here, so we are a little busy, families and all that stuff too. So we're just trying to get it out and spread the word as much as possible. So yeah, that's a great idea. Just need a little help doing it. And going back to the Adams question, I hate the Raiders, but Adams is still a top 5, wide receiver any given week. He was sick. The Raiders just, sucked that game. It was definitely an outlier. I agree. So got to trust them. Jonathan says, I have Dak right now. Just don't know if Watson would put me over the top. I don't think he will. That's just my opinion. I think you're fine with who you have. So Shay goes, okay, how about dropping one of these? Pacheco, James Robinson, or Jeff Wilson? I can't drop Jeff Wilson. I think out of that group, I still have to say Pacheco. James Robinson could have a role in that offense. So I would rather wait and see compared to something I know. And in this case, I know Pacheco is going to be in a huge rotation compared to James Robinson, who could actually niche out a role. Jeff Wilson, you can't touch. Sorry. Eli Murphy, what's going on, brother? He goes, are you starting AJ Dillon or Khalil Herbert? That's a tough one. Probably AJ Dillon. in this matchup. And if these are your two choices, he says, I have to start two: AJ Dillon, Cleef, or Drake London. Oof. What I would probably do here is I would probably do AJ Dillon and Khalil if you're going to start two. Khalil Herbert is running the ball a lot, doing well. So, that team runs the ball with all three guys. So it's essentially Baltimore light, if you want to put it that way. Zachary Hugh, what's going on, Zach? Great to have you here. He goes Swift or Khalil Herbert. That's actually a really good question. I do have Swift a little bit lower than consensus. I have him at, where is he? I have him at 29 this week. I do have Khalil Herbert at 21. They did mention in pregame that Swift is only going to be used in a handful of packages and a handful of scenarios. So basically, they're going to use him like they did last week. So if you thought he did okay last week, not a bad play. Khalil Herbert is still low man on the totem pole for Chicago. So he's the third option out of Fields and David Montgomery going against a decent Miami team, but they definitely got guys like Chubb and a few other guys that can help with that defense. So if I had to, probably Khalil Herbert, even though most given weeks, I'm not telling you that. I'll probably be telling you Swift. Patrick goes, oh, he's back. He says, good luck, guys. I need a victory today. I'm a 25-point favorite with projects, but doesn't mean that much. Need a huge win. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, not a problem, man. Have a good weekend. Good luck to you. Murphy goes, that sounds good. And AJ is going against the Lions. Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it, fam. That's what I'm here for. Anytime to help you out. Jonathan Smith goes, thoughts on Drake rest of the season? Drake is a tough person to gauge. I'm not a fan of Mariota, and I told everybody in the beginning of the year I wasn't a fan of him. His particular situation, they just don't. They're a run-first team. They like to run the ball because they have the ability to do it. Their teams are very good. That team is very good at running the ball, but they're really bad at passing it. They have a really good schedule moving forward. They have Carolina coming up on Thursday night. They have Chicago, which is a tough matchup for them. Washington, Pittsburgh at weeks 12 and 13. They do have the bye in week 14. And then they go New Orleans and then Baltimore and Arizona to finish out the year. It's not a horrible schedule, but I don't think that he is somebody that you can trust moving forward. I think he's a bench guy. You can stash him. He's a plug and play guy if you need him, but I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest. Jonathan Smith goes, I mean, Mariota got to give that ball up at some point, right? Yeah, no, but I told you at the beginning of the year, he has never passed more than 3,200 yards in a season. So that means he's barely throwing under 200 yards a game. So it's just not happening. I'm sorry. Zachary says, I appreciate the help. Thanks. No problem. I know I'm just thinking about Khalil or Swift is crazy. Yeah, no, it is. It's a tough scenario. I got to put Khalil a little bit higher than Swift just because they're going to use Khalil a little more. I think Swift might be thrown in a gadget tight end situation. So he's like a flex play. So if you need a little bit more, I think Swift's ceiling is a little higher than Khalil's floor, if that makes sense. I think Khalil is definitely more of a floor play. So Anthony goes, Godwin in the rain or Lazard. Is it really raining that bad there? I heard that it's actually pretty decent. I heard everything's okay. I didn't get to see their scenario. So I can't really give you 100% on that, but Lazard has the better matchup, even though he's hurt, but I think Godwin's healthier. So I'm going to stick with Godwin here. This is a nice morning show, though. Good way to prep for the day. Yeah, man. We're here every Sunday morning. I try to help you guys out as much as possible. So Jonathan Smith goes, I'd go Godwin. I have PTSD from Lazard. Me too, man. Me too. But yeah, we're here every Sunday. I'm here every Sunday, 11 o'clock till about 12:30. So for me, I'm always here. Thursday, or sorry, Mondays. So tomorrow we'll be back to do a little overreaction, some injury news, things like that of whatever happened on Sunday. Then we'll be back on Wednesday as well for roster construction. We're here at usually 12 a.m. So it's Thursday morning technically, but 12 a.m. Well, sorry, Thursday 12 a.m., but really it's Sunday night or Wednesday night, Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. And then we're back here on Friday. Me and Ant break everything down and do your start sit stuff on Friday night. So check us out there if you haven't already. Make sure you guys leave a like as well for the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. No one. What's going on, man? Should I start Devin Singletary or AJ Dillon? That's actually a great question. AJ Dillon is not in a bad matchup. Neither is Devin Singletary. I do like Singletary a little bit more. Better offense, better situation. Even though Dillon can get a vulture a touchdown here or there, I'm going to say Singletary for now. Even though until I see more with AJ Dillon, I can't do it. Can't do it. Anthony goes, thanks, y'all. Even I want a second opinion. I was leaning Godwin, but I got that feeling that Lazard will score today. Yeah, me too. It's a great matchup. So Jonathan goes, well, just know if you bench Lazard, he will go off for 25, but if you start him, he'll go for 6. Yeah, completely agree. Anthony agrees with you too. Shay goes, sorry, I know we talked defenses earlier, but who would you roll with between the Colts, Panthers, Arizona, and the Packers? I could see one of these guys hitting. Agreed. All of them, I think, are great options today. I'd probably put Arizona at the bottom of the list. I'd probably put Colts, Packers. No, Colts, Panthers, Packers. No, Colts, Packers, Panthers. Yeah, I'll go in that order. And then Arizona. I think, Pack is actually a decent defense, but I think Panthers have a good opportunity to put up more sacks. So Zach goes, so I have a trade offer. Derrick Henry, Ama, or Kenneth Walker. Oh, 4, Kenneth. Okay. Um, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Hey, Rock, what's going on, man? I'm going to go with Singletary. Swift is going to be limited today in what he does. So I got to move with the guy that's going to get more touches, which in this case will be Singletary. So I have a trade offer, Derrick Henry and Ama for Tyreek. That's a tough one, man. I think I might take it. I think I might do it. I think Tyreek's in a better scenario than Ama. I think that Walker is a steady back. If you have a lot of running back room, I think you're okay. Yeah. No, I'm okay with that trade. Jonathan goes, have a great day, Mike. Thanks for all the help. Hope you guys hope your guys' days go well. We appreciate it, John. Thank you. Good luck today as well. Anthony says Colts, Packers, Cards, and Panthers. So he kind of mixes mine up a little bit. I do think the Panthers are a good option today. Joe Burrow, one of the most sacked guys in the league. So just be aware of that. But honestly, really like this as well. And you're still trying to figure out Pacheco here. So other option instead of Pacheco, I could drop my main handcuff Hilliard and gamble with him back in waivers. Probably would go off for 10 to 20 for, Hilliard's not a horrible choice. I like him better than Pacheco. He's the clear backup to Henry. I think that Hilliard is used more than Pacheco and will be used if anything happens to Henry. But this is when, Henry turns into the Yeti. So I'm very more on the line of keeping Hilliard and dropping Pacheco. I just don't see Pacheco being a worthwhile thing. If this was a dynasty league, I would be saying drop Hilliard. But if this is a regular redraft league for, the only 8 weeks left that we have, I'm fine with dropping Pacheco. Uh, I think that I know his offense is good and all, but they just got guys like Kadarius Toney. Until one of the guys gets hurt on the running back group, and it's not Pacheco, then I think you have to stick with, who you have. I think Hilliard's a better choice. That's just me, though. All right, boys and girls, got to wrap this up. It's 12:35. But yeah, Zachary agrees. Got to hold Hilliard if you have Henry. Completely agree. I do think you can hold Hilliard even if you don't have Henry. I think he's a better option in general. So let me just wrap this up. I just want to make sure you guys are aware. Make sure you guys check out our affiliates as well, not just us, but make sure you guys check out the Check Down podcast with Cody McGoats. He's been in here today as well. They have they're going to be on every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So make sure you check them out as well. Make sure you guys sub to their channel as well as ours. Make sure you guys check out WAGMI Fantasy as well. Make sure you check them out at wagmifantasy.com. They have great articles, website, rankings, all different types of stuff. He also has an audio podcast as well. Make sure you guys sign up for the Winning with WAGMI newsletter. They are a great source to have if you don't have them already. Also, make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Frontline with AJ and Tim as well. Check them out on YouTube and Twitter. They will be live usually Wednesdays and Saturdays. So check their channel out as well. Sub to them as well to us. And make sure you guys like their channel as well. Whew. All right, A-Rock, appreciate you, man. No problem. Anytime. Thanks, Mike. Good luck to everybody. I agree. Make sure you guys set your lineups. Make sure you guys get everything you need in, submit, all that stuff if you haven't already. Make sure, like I said, as always, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We are giving away at 600 subscribers a signed Gabriel Davis jersey. So make sure you guys, sub and like to the channel. Make sure you guys also check out trophysmack.com. Like we said, my sponsor right here. They have great rings, customizable. Do anything you want with them. Great rings, great trophies, chains, and of course the belt. So make sure you guys check them out as well. Great website, great group of guys. So make sure you guys check them out. Also make sure you guys check out the underdog, or check out, look who it is. Dynasty Pylon in the house. Also make sure you guys check out, Martin over there at Dynasty Pylon. Martin and Mark, they do a great job, breaking down things. He's just wrapping up his show, coming in and saying hi. But make sure you guys check out Dynasty Pylon as well. Great friends of the show. Always love having them here. Always enjoy, collaborating with, Martin every week. And Martin, before I leave, I heard from one of my guys here, Jonathan Smith. He said, apparently, I'm in an IDP league. And he said that you said that. So I kind of like that. So thank you. Oh, man. Anyway, make sure you guys use promo code GetRight for Underdog Fantasy for your first deposit. They will match up to $100. So make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you use this promo code. Also, make sure you guys use it when you guys use trophysmack.com. Same thing. It will help you out at checkout. So make sure you guys are checking out those things. Whew. All right. I think we're wrapping it up now. So for everybody here, for Anthony, for Frank, for Dustin, for everybody here, all of our affiliates as well for the channel, make sure you guys check us out. And we'll see you on Monday. Later, everybody.